7.
Join us and stand for the pledge to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes as written for the previous meeting.
Second.
Okay. First and only up, Charlie Baylor, address 2265 North State Road 101, Milan. Section 25, Township 8, Region 12, Washington Township. Proof of ownership is recorded. Acres involves 26.95 A2. Type of variance is a setback, requiring 80.40 feet. No,
20 feet.
that's the code, I'm sorry. They want a variance from 20 feet to 14 feet. Jump up there, Charlie.
Yep.
So basically,
It's armed.
it's burnt down, yeah.
Yep.
And he's gonna build it back, and you go ahead and tell it, you know.
Yeah, I talked to my neighbor and that, and it's actually 20 foot of wasted space for me there along the side there. I've stacked ground bales there a couple of different years, but it's just sort of wasted space on that side of the building, and I talked to him, and he said, well, he didn't have no problem if I built 8 foot bigger, and it'd make it easier for me to turn equipment around in there and store stuff in there. And that's the reason I'm asking to go to,
You got a letter from that.
8 feet. You should have, it. Yeah, there's a letter there.
Okay, I didn't
And
even
then-
look to see.
On the back page.
They had no objection. And they're about the only ones that would be affected. Because,
Yeah.
Yep.
the other ones are way, way far away, so. All right. Any questions for him from the board? Okay, thanks, if you go down, open it to the public, which there's no public here, so.
You got anything to say, Jim?
You got anything to say? Okay. All right. Now, the only thing is, I'm supposed to put a special criteria on this if we grant this, that he can't start the barn until you buy a new tractor, okay?
Yeah,
His boys runs Merrilee, so they told me today to make him put that in there.
yeah.
No, take that off the public record. Anyway,
It's too late. It's
got it. All right.
I tried to figure out, when they showed me different tractors, I said, well, no way, we're gonna split this cost 3 ways? Oh, no.
No.
And that, Dad's gonna
Right.
buy the new tractors and that, so we haven't found something that suited me.
Yeah.
Of course, they said, well, yeah, I'll be looking now. I said, you can look, but this ain't the time of year to buy tractors, and that, really.
Okay,
And that,
so do we have a motion one way or the other?
So move.
Second?
I second it.
All in favor? You're good to go.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. All right, Tad, you got some stuff you wanted to talk about.
Make everybody stay.
I thought I was gonna set a record.
You tried, didn't you? It ain't even so.
At least I was hoping.
I don't know if you know about this yet. I had a fella come, he's come to me several times. He's I'll leave that one back, 'cause I didn't make mine. He buys old double-wide mobile homes and wants to, if he could rebuild them, make them stick-built. I can't do it. Just in talking to Don Dodge, the gentleman from Jennings County, he's the head of the Manufactured Housing Association in Indiana. He said when they're manufactured in a factory and stamped, he said they're done, that's what they are. Well, the second page there, now all the state of Indiana says
it's, right now, a double wide, if you put it on a lot, it has a tag on it, it's like buying license every year.
That's specific to the site.
Right,
Yeah.
yes, so it's personal property. Now, years ago, I've heard this all my life, if you homestead one, you get that classification taken away. And homesteading is taking the hitch off, taking the wheels off and the axles, and putting it on a permanent foundation. That's considered homestead.
I'm not sure about the details, but there are many times, the auditor, the treasurer will basically change that from what would be the green and white, well, when they were colored, tax duplicate, that your property tax is on, instead of it being considered a mobile
Mobile home.
or a manufactured home of that nature with a title, as personal property that's not affixed, when you do that, once they make it a permanent fixture to the property, then it gets assessed
And it gets
and rolled
property
into
taxes.
it as an improvement on the real estate.
Right, and they pay property taxes on it. Now, if it's class, like a B&B, they don't have the property tax on it like it would be on a regular lot. They'll pay property taxes on the property, but it's the same way in a trailer park, okay? Because that issues came up a couple of times. If it's in a trailer park, they don't pay property taxes on it. It's a personal property tax, like a car, okay? And that's paid through the license, the tag you have to buy every year,
Yeah.
okay? But it did say here, let me find it. Where did I read that? Yeah, permanent foundation. Here's how to convert status in Indiana. Affix the home to a permanent foundation, remove wheels and axles. Now, a lot of guys think that if you just take the wheels off, that you gotta take the axles off. Because, right.
Yeah.
And, oh yeah, and the tongue, it's gotta come off. And then deed and title work, file an affidavit and transfer it to real estate, blah, 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 with the Indiana BMT surrendering the title. And then notify your county so the county assessor can give you a big tax bill.
On the
So,
first page there, our zoning code says that I issue improvement location permission to the board of zoning meetings. So I want you all to say yes or no to doing this, because once we open this door, we'll never get to close it.
I guess my question, I live in a manufactured home, and mine's on a permanent base, and there's no wheels, no axles, no tongue, and I've been paying tax on it since I've lived there.
Right.
But you're not doing it to rent them out. This gentleman buys them, brings them in, sets them on it.
Okay.
He owns a piece of property, and he wants to rent them out.
but he's gotta follow all the codes,
All that property
septic
does.
system's gotta pass,
Yes.
the whole 9 yards, you know?
He's rebuilding off-site and then wanting to bring them
You
in.
always want to bring them in, put them on site, and rebuild them.
But he can't,
Is he legally allowed to move them if they're over a certain age?
Well, they gotta be 2003 or newer to come here.
right,
Yeah.
in our county,
So that's still gonna hold true no matter what?
Yes,
yeah.
that hasn't changed.
And I mean, as far as, he's not, and I can't see, it wouldn't be feasible for him to strip the steel frame out of it and redo that. What he's gonna do is he'll get one, set it up on a foundation, and then he'll probably go through and gut the inside. He'll probably put some kind of a barn metal on the outside or whatever, but he's not gonna reframe the studs and all that kind of stuff, you know?
He would just probably,
He
he would put it on
basically-
the
yeah.
foundation as it with a seal plate.
But, yeah, and there again, to me, I think if this goes, I think it should match, like your outside walls has gotta be minimum 2 by 4 width.
Should be.
Framing, it should be at your building code, yes, because they are some out there, low end,
Mm-hmm, it's
That
2 by
are-
3s. So 2 by 3s.
2 by 3s, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
You know what I'm
mine's like
saying?
2 by 4 and
So
2 by
you don't
6.
get your R rating in your walls like you're supposed to in our regular houses and stuff like that. So if it becomes a remodel, then he needs to bring that up to a house, a stick-built code,
Yeah.
you know, so.
What? Is this for just, special exceptions, conditional uses? Why is the Board of Zoning Appeals? It seems like that'd be the planning commission.
Nope, that's not what the code says.
And it's not like the planning and zoning is doing a subdivision or anything.
Right.
You know, it's basically, he's already got, he's gonna buy a piece of ground.
So he wants to buy a lot,
And find a used mobile home.
find a 2003 or newer mobile home situated there.
And make it reclassified, stick built up. He's done in Jefferson County a couple of times.
I don't know if we have anything that says it can't be done, do we?
Well, or do, like I said, other than talking to the gentleman that's over the Manufactured Housing Association in Indiana, he says they're classified that way, and that's the way they always will be classified. Sidewalks is though,
But they're really not.
but they're really not with this now.
Because you, like I said, if you homestead one, that classification goes away. I mean, I know, maybe it's always gonna be a manufactured home.
Right.
Okay?
I was gonna say, what's the point of it if your taxes are gonna go up? Your resale value's not gonna change because it's still a manufactured home. So what's the point of going through the legwork?
Well, it's because it becomes a permanent home.
But to
Okay.
move it back.
But
he's gonna
why?
Put the axles and the tongue back on it, is he not? And get a
What's that?
permit to move it?
Well, it's probably on there now, I would say.
They're probably
and then
on
he's
there
probably gonna
now.
take them off.
But when he brings it and sets it on his lot, he's gotta take all that
What
off.
I'm saying is, you're talking about a guy who will buy a used one,
Bring it in.
and maybe he's buying it off a mobile home lot, sales lot, maybe he's
Trade
buying
ins.
one, and
Yeah.
that's on a foundation, he's gonna remove it. So he's gonna put the axles back on,
Can't see where that'd be
arguably,
close to
if
that.
he does it that way.
Yes.
Put the tongue back on,
Yeah.
haul it
Not for that
there.
size.
Like my
Permit to move it.
insurance is more because mine's manufactured.
But here's the thing,
Because mine's,
I mean,
Built,
they
stick
can do
built.
that anytime.
I mean, it's
I mean,
everything.
even after they homestead it, if somebody wants to
but
move it,
to loan it.
then they can come back and do all that.
You have to
They gotta
pay
get a special
2%.
permit
Right.
to do that.
I mean,
Well,
And-
most of these trailer courts only keep them so many years and they start selling them off, and
which is
that's where
the
he's
same
buying them.
world,
I guess maybe a big question
in a
here
way,
is this
because
person,
especially people like upgrading like I've done.
does anything prohibit him from moving a used mobile home that's built in 2003 that we're aware of?
That's older,
No, that's newer, that's 2003
Or
or
newer.
newer, a later model than 2003. Nothing stops him from
moving it. No,
moving it
No.
and situating on a new piece of property.
no.
And he can get a permit, set it up, put the foundation under, get his thing, and then once that's done, he can come in and do what, an electrical service upgrade or any kind of stuff?
Well, he wants to come in and get a remodel permit, and that's where he wants to claim that it is a stick-built house.
And that's where,
Do that.
Well, I don't think
That's
that's
where-
you can do. But as far as if he's willing to be patient in his process,
what do you mean you
I
can't?
don't know if there's a law that would stop him, is there?
There's not, and I mean, and I'll give you an example, I do a lot of work with this lady, she's a realtor. She flips houses, she flips a lot of double wides, okay? And she'll do that if it's sitting on a lot with the skirting underneath it, she'll rip that out of there, take the tongue off, take the axles off, or do a concrete footer over it, okay? Then when she gets it all said and done, remodels the inside, she's gutted them before, sometimes she don't, it depends on what kind of shape it's in. But when it's all said and done, then she can list it as a regular home, basically, okay? I mean, it's still, there's a clause, something, you gotta, what is that, when you let people know if you know anything's wrong
A
with it?
seller's residential sales disclosure.
Disclosure. It will say that it is a manufactured home, but it is homesteaded, okay? So it's not a tagged home now that you've gotta pay personal property taxes and stuff like that. I can tell you
But you still
10 of them
can't,
that they've done it to.
they still can't get a HUD loan.
Oh,
Fannie
yeah,
Mae or
they can
Freddie
get
Mac.
FHA, they can get them all. That's what I'm saying, when they put that foundation under it and take them wheels and axles off, then they can go to the bank and get a conventional loan, they can get a FHA loan or whatever.
Even with steel frame
Yes.
underneath of it?
If it's considered manufactured, I was told that you have, because you have to pay like 2% more for manufactured than your insurance. Like there's restrictions for hot water
Well,
heaters, there's restrictions.
Your insurance and stuff is all, but at the same time, if, some of them ones that she's done, that don't get all replumbed and everything like that, unless she guts it, it don't get rewired either,
Yep.
But it's new enough that it's gonna have updated stuff in it, And that's why I say, when he comes in for that remodel permit, then that's where it's gotta be black and white, that he's gotta bring it up to a regular stick-built code, you know, so.
Well, and
as
it
far
might,
as-
it might be because of it, for his loan. If he gets that classified
Could
like
be.
that, he's gonna get a cheaper loan, because if it's a
Right.
manufactured loan, he's gonna pay 2% more, because you can't get a Freddie Mac or a.
Right, and
any of
I
those
know
for
the
that.
bank, they used to not wanna loan money on double wides, manufactured homes, okay?
Right.
But like I said, they will, if you homestead it, they will, they're more apt to loan money on it, and, you know, and stuff like that, but,
Now,
but,
one question, say he moves one of these in there, and that it's 20 years old or whatever, is that tax rate cheaper than if I went out and built the same size house?
well,
There.
it depends on the appraised value or assessed value,
The assessed valuation.
yeah.
So his assessed value on an older thing would be cheaper than I went out and built a brand new home?
I mean, well,
The
I
same
mean,
size.
here's.
Yes and no.
Yeah, if he
It's
gets
really
the-
gonna be based on comparables
Right,
nearby.
and if he remodels
Like the
it,
square
then that's
footage.
gonna jack that
Yeah, I mean,
price up, because, you know what I'm saying, I mean, it,
That's what I was thinking,
yeah.
you know, he's beating the system on taxes.
here's what I'm gonna tell you, really, when it comes down to it, he probably ain't gonna save that much money, okay?
He
I
thinks
mean,
he is.
most of them are 24 by, 24 by 30, 40, I mean, you can get them all.
36.
What's the longest one you can get now?
58.
I know a single wide goes up to 80 foot long.
Yeah,
But anyways, I mean, you know, time you put that, a regular footer and foundation in, is he saving that much money to stick build something versus that double wide sitting there, and then he's gonna
But he said
remodel
it
it? You know, and there's ones out there that's been taken care of that he may not need to do a whole lot to, you know, but,
Mine. If he wants to give me enough money, I'll sell him mine.
you know, but,
But there's enough covenants in places that it's gonna protect,
oh, yeah.
like, you're not gonna be able to do it in Harvest Ridge, because they got the covenants that you can't have a 412
Right.
slope roof, it has to be steeper, and
But you gotta keep
So
in mind, planning office does not honor covenant.
You got to, Tad. I mean, you talked about it, but
Our
I'm gonna
zoning
tell you
code
what.
says no,
I don't care what it says,
I can't,
but here's what I'm gonna tell you.
the code.
If you was a developer, and you put out a 40 lot subdivision that you spent $500,000 on setting it up, putting the utilities in and all this, and you wrote up a covenant and said it's gonna be brick homes and this and that, and blah, 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 and you recorded it, the building department, whoever's in charge has got to go by that covenant, has to. And if you don't, you're opening the county up for a lawsuit. I'm sorry, but it's gotta be that way. Now, what do you think? And is that something, if that's really in black and white,
Well,
it's gotta be changed, because we've got to go by it.
Here, the problem is though, that some of those covenants are not always recorded, number one.
I'm just saying, if it's recorded and
If it's
done right,
recorded and recognizable, obviously if it can be caught, it's wise to get it caught, but here's the thing.
it can't be not caught.
We don't, the covenants are usually written that they are enforceable by the other property owners within that subdivision or an HOA, a homeowners
Then
association.
we gotta change something for the county to catch that. It's no different than when
I
somebody
can't
comes
advise you
in.
to take on that extra liability,
What's that?
to basically say that we're responsible for that.
To catch it, to act, I mean, that could be, there we go again. When somebody comes in and gets a permit, do we make out a list of questions? And number one, you know, number 6, are there covenants involved? You know, do you have this? I mean, I guarantee you, there's 10 questions you can ask and cover just about 99% of every permit done in the county.
I think the shorter answer is, could you do it? Yes. Will it probably take more time to process a permit before it can be issued? Absolutely. So,
I don't see why. I mean, you can walk in right now and get a permit for $300 for a new house, okay? Or whatever it is to pull a double wide wherever, okay? Now, if you had a question that says, when they're filling out that permit, are they a covenant, subdivision covenant? You know it's going into a subdivision when they ask for the permit,
Okay.
right? I mean, they tell you the address, they tell you an address.
They should. It
That
should.
address will come up, it's a subdivision, okay? So you ask, does it have a covenant in that subdivision? They're gonna say, I don't know. Then you tell them you don't get a permit until you go to the recorder's office and then see if it has make them do all the footwork. You just ask the question. Don't issue that permit
What
until
if
they
they say I
get,
went there and couldn't find anything?
then
But-
had the recording office say,
but
no, nothing's recorded for that subdivision.
So you-
Bring that back, it's no different than some of the, you want a stick drawing on some stuff to get a permit. You got, make them go prove that there's no covenants before you issue a permit. If there's no covenants, then we're free and clear
And then
as a
I'm
county.
gonna take it a step further. What if the recorder doesn't find something, but it's actually there? No different than titles. You know, when you get title insurance, a title searcher goes and looks at all the documents, the liens, the mortgages, they're looking for anything on record. But if they slip up and miss it, then they carry insurance. That's why you buy title insurance, so it covers whatever errors they miss.
Well, I know, but we owe it to.
We don't carry
we-
insurance.
We owe
as
it
a
to the county that we have to do our due diligence, whatever, how you say it.
I
We've
look at-
got to make sure we do everything we can to
Everything you
take
can
care of all that,
is fine,
okay?
but you have to understand that there's still gonna be some situations.
I'm sure
where
they
that-
are.
where it's
I mean,
foolproof.
I'm not saying everything's perfect.
And number two, is that the role of government?
But is it a legitimate subdivision that goes through all the steps and stuff? Harvest Ridge, got a covenants, all right? Do you abide by their covenants? So you'll let anything you want to go in there?
But theirs wasn't recorded, right? That's why he was able to put vinyl houses in there.
Yeah,
That
there
one
was
area,
big,
On the Newport.
On the second
Yeah,
part.
yeah.
That was,
Yeah.
that was
There was-
an addition to the original. The original subdivision, you
Can't.
wasn't allowed to
Right.
put any of that in there.
Right.
And you abided by them laws.
But what this zoning code says by the state of Indiana, issuance of a building permit does not permit violations of covenants. It puts it back on the property owner.
So if I go,
No.
if I go to a subdivision and come in here and say I wanna put a whatever, and I mean knowing that there's a covenants in there.
That's on you.
Well, but you don't catch it,
Because
I'm
it's
gonna
on-
lie to you,
Yeah.
okay?
You're the one that's on the hook.
Okay, so, yeah,
'Cause in
we've
our-
got that
I
situation
know.
already,
In
in my,
Harvest
so,
Ridge,
if you catch me in that lie, what's gonna happen to me? Am I gonna move that off of there?
that's for a court to decide.
You know,
In Harvest Ridge, they said no pole buildings. But there's one in there because the developers did it against their own covenants.
I just think,
Yeah.
we cannot say that our building department don't have to recognize the covenants.
Because they go above and beyond what the zoning code allows.
Can you make it part of like, and for instance, in Dillsboro, we went through this with the new housing development that went in. They did the covenants, and then we had local zoning that addressed that.
And added stuff to it, or.
Added,
Yeah.
that recognized those covenants
Right.
that
I
were
mean,
there.
what you're saying is the best, have a checklist. We've got a
Right.
checklist now, but people just say there is none.
Right. Well,
Right, but
But I would make
at
them-
least
I would
if
make
somebody
them prove
signed
it.
off on it and said that there is none,
Right.
and
then you could hang the homeowner
And to
and
me,
say
it's
it
not
is
that
your
hard
fault,
because you deal with, how many subdivisions do you deal with? You know, now,
I don't know how many.
I'm not talking about a 1 lot, 2 lot, 3 lot subdivision, okay? To me, you'll never see a covenant in something like that.
Yeah.
Will you? Do
Yep.
you? Okay. You got one?
3 that's sold is not mine, responsibility no more.
Okay. And if they wanted to build a house in there that wasn't to your covenant and the county give them a permit, what'd you do?
It's up to if somebody's already existing there, if they have an issue with it, it's a private matter. It's nothing to do with the county. That's what I was always told.
If they're aggrieved by another lot owners within that subdivision, let's assume, well, like for mine, I did a 3-lot egg subdivision with 2 lots on the front back in what, 2000? Way back.
Before.
And I put a covenant on the 2 separate lots that read the exact same way as it did on the 3-lot ag subdivision. I think the stick built, it had to be a stick-built home, no less than 1,500 square feet, you know, block or cement foundation. And a few other things, yada, yada, yada. For people who are aggrieved by that, once I'm no longer one of the landowners there, it's really, it's a protection for the homeowners who bought there to try to be assured that somebody wasn't gonna build something next to them, and they have recourse against
And
someone
then,
that
but
comes
a
in and
judge is
violates
gonna
the code.
decide what's gonna happen. A judge will have to decide what's gonna happen. And if a judge
Yes.
says, he says, okay, that's fine, it don't matter, then everybody that bought into that subdivision with the expectations of it's gonna be like this, and now you let this go in there. And I mean, I don't care, personally, I just feel that we got to have some type of responsibility to that subdivision's covenants. And like I said, and here's the thing, if we ask them before the permit, and you know that it's a legit subdivision, then make them in writing, go get proof that it's either recorded or not, and have a paper written or whatever, and you've got it on file. Then that clears the county of any kind of liability.
If you're looking for something like that, where you're basically saying as part of the permitting process, you know, please take this application and your parcel number to, you know, the recorder's office and inquire if you have any recorded, if there are any covenants that are recorded that are cross-referenced to this property or any adjoining properties. You're putting some more work on the recorder, but they could probably take a look through their system.
Well,
and
I mean,
maybe
that's what they're
figure-
there for. You know, you go ask, if you got a question, you gotta go ask the recorder, and that's what they're there for, right? I mean, you know, just like, you know,
Right.
anything else, I mean, you've got, you know, and here's the thing, if it's a legit subdivision and it's recorded, it's a tap, 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 and it should pop up.
It
Now,
should.
if it's
In a
not
real-
recorded,
perfect world.
then somebody, it goes, you know, and then it goes on back to where, you know, I get it, the county's out of it and it's there, but if it's legit and everything's in line, then we have to, before you issue a permit, you would have to abide by that, okay? And it's nothing that's gonna, it won't take an extra 10 minutes for them to go from there to the recorder.
Right.
And get them an answer, would it?
30 maybe. Maybe, I don't
And
know.
I mean, well, if you do it at lunchtime, I can see it being a half hour, okay? I'm just thinking, I'm thinking out loud, guys,
That's what
you
it
know,
takes. That's what-
yeah, because here's the thing, if you get a legit investor that wants to come in and put a big subdivision in your town, whatever, and he finds out that the building department's not gonna go, uphold his covenants, I would move to the next county, the next town, and see, you know, and you know,
Well, I'm saying, this isn't a county ordinance, that's come from the state saying about covenants. I'm joking, but
well, I tell you what, you go up there in Indianapolis and see how many covenants are up there. It'll blow, you know,
I'll guarantee you they're on the plat for everyone to see. They're not an attachment that gets lost off. It
Or
doesn't-
failed to record or
Yes.
cross-reference. And plus, most of those large-scale.
it is,
They all
it's
have
a different
homeowners
world.
association
Yeah.
and a president,
Right.
and they.
HOA fees and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
They
you
have
know.
their own internal
You know.
enforcement, if you will.
Well.
And that makes a big difference.
But like I said,
But I
I
don't
mean,
think that most of the people that are living here in Ripley County in these situations want to live in Indiana
well, no, they don't, and here's the thing,
under
I
that
mean,
type of.
how many
dominion.
times would it actually come up? You know, once, twice a year, maybe 3 times, you know? But if we have it in front of us to ask that question, I think we could say, hey, we done what we were supposed to do and ask, you know? Now, what we were told is this here, we've got it in writing, and then if somebody comes in and says, hey, you done something wrong, no, I didn't. Here it is,
Well,
you know.
bottom line is, even a permit that's issued in error is not valid. Statute states that. So, but If you want to add a little extra check and
And
balance
that's
to
not a
it,
problem, we can do
I
that.
don't think that would hurt.
I mean, I just think, we owe it to,
So we've got a checklist going, we'll just add it to it. I mean, it's not a
yeah,
problem.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's-
It may not solve the problem completely,
It can
but
help.
it'd be
But
one
it
might
extra
prevent the
level
problem.
of line of question.
and we've talked, we had this discussion on some other thing that and I brought up saying we needed a checklist, and I don't remember what it was. My memory ain't as good as it used to be, but, like I said, take and break down the top 10 things that really matters when it comes to
Yeah.
building a house or, whatever it is,
Yeah.
for you to issue a permit, and,
Anyway, back to this,
but anyways, I'm sorry.
about
But,
this.
yeah, back to this, if they're gonna come in and get a remodel permit and bring it up to IRC, like, it seems like a no-brainer. Like,
You would want to do,
you would
Well-
want them to do it, so then that way it protects the homeowner that's gonna buy this.
You're talking about the remodeling of a.
The remodel,
Here's the thing, I'm
Permits.
looking at BMV titles, manufactured homes. How to convert a manufactured home into real property. So it's not really the homesteading. Homesteading is what you get for that reduction if it's your
Well,
primary
yeah.
residence. But, just to clarify,
Right.
so there's no confusion on the term. Key requirements for converting a manufactured home to real property. 1, own the land. 2, install a permanent foundation. 3, check local and state regulations. 4, file an affidavit of a fixture. 5, surrender the certificate of title to the BMV. Then you get something from the BMV that says, okay, this is part of the real estate now. This no longer exists as, but when you do that, if it's been done properly, I don't know that you get the right to move it anymore.
no,
No,
it's there.
it's supposed to be permanent,
Yeah.
I'd say.
So this
it
guy's
may
talking
not-
about getting one that hasn't been affixed to other property.
Correct.
He's
Correct.
just talking about getting one
He's
that
getting
still
one
has a
with wheels
title.
on it. Yeah.
Well, if he goes through this
Well,
process
don't
and
do
follows
that.
that, and then comes in and gets a remodel, I don't think you can stop it.
And here's the thing I'm gonna tell you
I don't
real
think we
quick on that. If he finds one that already been on the foundation, the wheels, the axles is off and everything, I guarantee it's another 10 grand to put all that crap
Oh, it
back on
has
it
to
to
be.
move it.
It
So that right there
Economic-
eliminates that.
You're right, economically, you'd probably never see it happen, but if he
Right,
gets it
bring
for a
that
steal of a deal or for nothing,
And
hey, I'll let you have it if you move it.
Right, well, is that something we need to put in our code as far as, once you do get that certificate as real property from the BMV, then it can never be moved again.
I'm not sure they can.
But you could move
I
a real
really
house.
don't know how you would
I mean,
do
you could
what
move a
you
real
do.
house.
Yeah, if you want to pay for
Yeah.
it.
So
you
if
can.
you want to call a rigger, I moved 2 from Lawrenceburg when they put the 48 hill down. Okay?
Now that you mention that, I suppose if you did it that way, it would.
Get a rigger and they jack it up. They don't have to have wheels and stuff on it. They can move it on.
Because if they damage it, they're gonna bring it up.
If you got the money, you can do anything you want.
That's right.
If you had the money, why wouldn't you just build new
But, well,
and have straight
you know,
walls?
it's,
Maybe.
it is, like I said,
Been a lot of stick built on that street.
and maybe this guy's got an in where,
He might, I don't know.
he buys these trade-in models and his, but like I said, there again, the remodel permit needs to be where you would do, I would think, a rough-in inspection
Oh,
and
yeah,
a
it's gotta be
final.
all that, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And,
Well, from foundation up,
right,
yeah.
so you do the foundation, blah, blah, blah.
So do what Todd said.
And then,
You've got to meet all the IRC code.
right, exactly.
So
And
that,
and then it's better off than him, because if he just moved it and left the tires and the tongue on it, he can move anything that's 2003 or older and not even get it inspected.
right.
Yeah.
So is that a consensus of the,
So, yeah,
Board to
I
do
mean,
that.
do we vote on this, or,
that's up to you all. I mean, I just want it on record somehow, so we,
so, the one you wanted us to do is issue in the name of the Board of Zoning Appeals improvement location permits and certificate of occupancy and maintain records thereof.
you know. Do you want me to do that? Because I've never had, because I didn't think it was proper.
I think
Now, this-
we have to. Because like you say, I mean,
Are we talking about strictly a manufactured home?
Yes, steel frame.
Okay. What about stick-built homes or anything? That's already
That's already,
part of the building.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Even a modular, where they're wood frames,
right,
brought in on the truck.
But a manufactured home is not covered in any way, shape, or form under the building code in this same manner?
Nope.
Okay.
because they're
So
inspected
that-
in the factory and
Apparently
brought
that's why
out.
that exists.
Yeah.
Well, it does appear that Indiana Code 917-6-15, 917-6-15.1 sets forth the affidavit of transfer to real estate, an application and a fee with the BMV. Basically states a person that 1, holds a certificate of title for, 2, holds a certificate of origin for, or 3, otherwise owns as an improvement. Now, this is weird, owns as an improvement, as if it's an existing improvement on the property,
But
not one that's being transferred in, I presume, doesn't say. A manufactured home that is attached to real estate by permanent foundation may apply for an affidavit of transfer to real estate with the Bureau of Motor Vehicles. Application must be accompanied by the fee set forth in subsection D. It needs to contain a full description of the manufactured home, including a description and the parcel number to the real estate to which the manufactured home is attached. One or more of the following numbers. A unique serial number assigned by the manufacturer to the manufactured home. B, the certification label number required by the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development for the manufactured home. C, a special identification number issued by the Bureau for the manufactured home.
So, now, I'm gonna make a comment again. If you could get one of them homes, set it on the foundation, do all that, and get it, and not remodel nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Don't think you, well, you still gotta get the improvement location permit to set it on the property.
Right, they would have to get a footer per inspection,
Yep,
and then, I don't know, do you do the block inspection?
yep.
Okay, but once they do that, and they got that all inspected, if that mobile home is in good enough shape, you know, can we inspect one and say it needs remodeled or don't? We
No,
can't do
we
that.
cannot do that. The only thing we can do is the footer, the
So,
foundation.
you know, and
And
here's the
electric
thing,
service.
if he
With
puts
an
if he puts that on that foundation and makes it
Mm-hmm.
a home, or whatever you want, what were you calling it? A real permanent
An improvement?
improvement or
Or
what?
make it an.
Okay. If
an
he does
affidavit,
that,
a transfer to real
Right.
estate.
and if he does that, and whether he rents it or not, I mean, we can't control him from renting it, but if he goes to sell it and then somebody goes in there and it's tore all to hell, he ain't gonna get nothing out of it, you know, or I wouldn't think, you know. But if he does say he's gonna remodel it, then we gotta hold him to the remodel standard.
Once a manufactured home becomes a fixture, what permits for remodel would they get? If it's over 5,000?
No, any
Plumbing?
Service
Any,
upgrade,
um,
yeah, I mean,
any remodel takes just that remodeling permit. The dollar amount went away in the
Okay.
last code.
So
Building
any
code.
remodel,
Yep.
what is considered?
Any
remodel?
alterations. So changing it from manufactured to this permanent,
but remodeling goes on a lot
yeah.
without any, no.
without any-
Oh, absolutely.
But I mean,
So I'm
but-
just
Who
telling
can
you.
headhunt all that?
Wait, listen, if they get the septic hooked up, and that's our
and
thing.
see, we
If
gotta
it's
look at
new-
that. We gotta
if
look
it's
at
new-
septic, we gotta look
you're
at
right.
electric.
Yeah, and they get the electric hooked up, then,
Once
you
they
know,
get the electric, they're done with
they're
it.
done,
They're
yeah,
back.
yeah, but, so, yeah, I mean, that's, like I said, that's, I don't think we can stop it though.
No,
you know.
so I don't know if you wanna,
But what's the other option if would they have to come before the BZA? I mean, I guess I don't understand why we need to make a motion or anything. If it's already in our code, if it already is part of
covered
your
in the
job.
code,
Well, he's been telling people, no, they can't do it.
right, because
So-
the guy from the state manufactured housing says, I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
But with this now,
But we can't, legally, I don't think we can stop them.
right,
So he wants us to tell him, he can start telling people, yes, you can do it. Is that what I'm?
Are we gonna get in any trouble with the state? This is the state manufactured home what? Representative or
he's over the manufactured home installers
association?
association.
Yeah.
So he's not an actual governmental entity?
No, but like I say,
So he's
he's
got
over the
vested
installers.
interest,
He doesn't-
okay.
And I get it, what he's saying, once it's a manufactured home, it's always gonna be right.
Right,
But when you put it
and go these further
and
steps.
do all these other steps, then it's, you know, I guess in the eyes of the taxes and blah, 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 it is a residential house and then not a,
I guess
you know, but,
my question is, he wants to bring it in,
it's legal, it's a legal home to be moved in.
Mhm.
He's gonna move it there, affix it to the property, surrender the title, get it affixed to the property as improvement, get it taxed that way. He's gotta jump through a series of state statute hoops. Well, yeah, I guess we really can't stop him.
No, it don't look like it, but
But I think it gets gray if he's literally gonna slide it onto some long trailer where it's been affixed, it no longer has a title, and he's bringing it to a new location.
Right. And I don't think that'll happen, because you can't take, I mean, if you
That's
take,
excuse
take
me.
that home off that steel foundation,
it's
it's
gonna go
junk.
apart, yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
Got to hold it
you
together.
know, I mean, you know, and we've got, I know a couple places that where they was a single wide trailer and they brought in a double wide, and they were supposed to move the single wide out, and it's been there for 20-some years, and it's a garbage collection thing. But, I mean, you know,
There's one out here at Elrod, that there's a whole house built over top of a trailer. To drive by and look at, you'd never know it. To walk in it. you
There's
would.
one on 350 where it's
Yeah,
metal,
parcel, yeah.
it's been built over.
Yeah, well,
But it's not totally enclosed.
this is enclosed. They built a
Never
house.
gonna get that.
It's been there 50 years.
well, look at that monstrosity they're doing down here on 421.
That's,
Yeah.
How's that ever getting by down there?
Nobody ever says a word about it.
Double, it's a two-story, I guess it's a two-story addition on top of that single wide.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen that one yet?
Yeah.
And it's been going on for 6, 7 years.
It falls
And
down
all
before it
the-
gets it done.
All the lumber up there's rotten.
It's a work in progress.
So anyway,
But I want a direction from you all so these other offices don't, oh my God, he's violating the code. Like,
I
it
don't,
is what
I don't think you can stop it. And I mean, as far as a board, do you guys, I mean, want to make it on record that we're saying that, yes, he can,
It appears that it legally can be done as long as they follow
Oh,
state
right.
statutes.
if we're following the local and the state statutes,
Right.
I don't think there's really need to give him any.
and at least he's come in here and asking for a permit,
Right,
you know.
right.
Oh, you're ahead of the game right there.
So, I mean, it's a consensus of the board if it's acceptable to do.
So I'll make a motion that is, on behalf of the BZA, we are in favor of you issuing remodel permits for manufactured homes,
Following state statute.
following state statutes.
Right. And county codes. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to add nothing.
Meaning, once they're, because do people
To
come
follow
in and
the
get a
year
remodel permit
and
for
all that.
something where it still has the title?
No,
No.
never have. This is new stuff.
But once state views it as real estate,
Then it could be a remodel.
I guess there's no reason.
Okay, let me
guys
ask you
can't.
this, do we want to wait until he does the filing through the BMV? Or does he have to get a permit to do the stuff before he can file and get rid of that
No,
certificate?
no, it seems like he would leave it as a mobile home,
Until
move
he
it to
gets-
the location, request, get all the,
And after he gets his final occupancy,
he
whatever.
he'd need to do what it says here, fix it to the property,
Yeah.
make
Mail
the
its inspection.
application, pay the fees, get everything, surrender the title, get the affidavit, surrender the title to probably the assessor, the auditor, and maybe the treasurer. I'm not sure if the recorder gets that, but, I think that may be the process.
We have to
Don't
go
hold me
that
to that.
before he could get the certificate of occupancy.
Right. Once he gets the certificate of occupancy, then he could come in and ask for a remodel permit. I would think.
Why would it have to be 2 permits though? Why would it have to be 2 permits? If he's getting footer and foundation, septic hookup, and electrical and
Then
all
just need
that,
the
why
same
couldn't the remodel fall under that same
Under that,
permit?
Yeah, it would.
I think it would,
Because how can you issue a CO on a house that needs remodeled?
Yeah,
You wouldn't
But-
get your CO.
let me see if I got this straight though. He's talking about buying used mobile homes, 2003 or later models. And he's going to move them, situate them there. So what's the process? Walk me through the process.
well, he would then come in to get a remodel permit.
A remodel or improvement location permit
Well,
to
an
situate
improvement
it there?
location permit and a remodeling permit, because the remodeling permit gets him his footers, foundation.
Electrical,
sewer hookup,
plumbing,
Electric, plumbing, all that. The improvement location is just to let the assessor know this improvement's going on the property, and it gets the certificate of occupancy once all inspections have been completed.
And that's what, hook up to sewer, water. But if he wants to remodel it on site,
That,
That remodel
and
permit.
he can't remodel a quote-unquote manufactured home, he can't do that then.
he can do all, he would get the permit to remodel, jump through all these hoops, but before we issue the certificate of occupancy, he's got to prove that it is now real estate and not personal property.
I
You can
think
remodel,
that,
you can
there's, in my
remodel.
opinion though, Ted, that's the disconnect. That's where you never get the person following back through.
We don't get a CO unless he does.
Yeah, but who cares?
He does.
He can't get that certificate to make it legally a
A rental,
residential.
yeah.
I'm not sure that that,
Because the certificate
Is
of
necessary.
occupancy says all codes are.
And that's something that you verify through the inspector.
building.
I did not get that impression from this statute. We might need to do a little more research on that. That one's not,
It says you can't literally rebuild a manufactured home. You can remodel it, and it still be a manufactured home. You just can't rebuild it. So that, to me, that tells me I can't tear that house off of that metal frame and rebuild another one on top.
Right.
Okay? Which nobody in their right mind would ever do.
Who would do that, yeah.
Okay, but you can remodel a modular home and still sell it as a modular home. I know you can do that because I've done it. But anyways,
why would we not be able to force them to do the transferring it to real estate first?
Well, you possibly could,
I mean, if we're looking to make sure
but he
that,
can't put it on a foundation until he gets his permit.
I mean, in that permit, that would include, you could have it say that once it gets set on your foundation, or maybe with that permit in hand, he could go to the BMV and say, here's what we're doing. I want to get this switched over.
so it's not a building permit.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so what's the remodel permit?
Well, that's the building permit, is to remodel this and make it the permanent fixture on this property.
And a remodel is the same as building a new house, a remodel isn't technically, if you do it right.
Your superstructure's there.
Okay.
You're fixing up your plumbing, your wiring.
I mean, just understand, if the guy doesn't follow through on it, you may.
Well, that's where we need to price this.
See, Jefferson County, they just done one down there by the cemetery.
He's
That
the
was
same
him.
feller.
Okay, and the guy he bought it from, I know, and where he bought it, it had skirting, it still had the axles, no tongue,
Right.
but it had axles.
But it probably still had
But
the.
the tag.
The tag.
Tag,
The
right.
van, it was probably still taxed as a manufactured
Manufactured
home.
home. Well, he sold it,
Okay.
moved into his dad's manufactured home, because his dad passed away, him and his wife. And the guy moved it, and put it over by the cemetery and put it on a foundation, took the
So,
axles
so
out.
his tongue was bolted on probably.
Yeah, it
So
was.
you just bolted it back on to move it.
Usually those movers bring
Right.
Yeah.
a
They
ton,
bring their own
they put it
ton.
up to do
But
it.
They even got their own axles.
It's sitting
too.
on a foundation now. The axles is gone,
Got
but
porches
it's
added on,
completely
siding,
remodeled, barn siding, the whole works.
And that's what I imagine
Yeah.
this guy's doing, because he could,
Well, you
I don't
said
know
the
if he
same
strips,
guy.
Yeah.
I don't know if he strips the outside old metal off,
He does.
because, I mean, it's all aluminum pretty much on them modulars,
Yeah.
unless it's,
Now, is he
Final.
making rentals or is he selling them?
As far as I know, he's renting them.
Well, this one's for sale.
That one's for sale.
Right.
and that would be the best, smartest thing to do is sell it.
Yes.
And it's
So-
beneficial to him if he can get that classified as a
Right.
home because of insurance and for loan purposes.
Yeah, right.
Which would be
Be helpful. So, I mean, I guess as long as you can kind of have some reasonable assurances that they'll follow through with it, I guess if that's the process, then go ahead, but
Or we don't get him permanent electric until he jumps through them hoops.
Right.
We've got him there.
I think I'd have something I would hold over the person's head.
yeah, I
to
think we need
ensure
to have
that they
something that
finish
says,
it.
they've
And that's-
met
that-
all the criteria.
That was my
Well-
point, because I just kind of,
Right.
I see this being one of those things where you'll get about 80, 90% of the people do it right, follow through, and then you'll get that 5, 10, maybe
Slumlord.
20% that just kind of hang you out to dry.
Right. But like I said, I don't think we can stop it.
Right.
And-
I would agree with that part.
And,
As long as it meets HUD rules where you can move it, it still has a title, it can be moved to the location, and then it can be permanently affixed. Yeah.
Now, a question would be is there restrictions in in some parts of the county where manufactured homes can't be located?
Only in subdivisions.
Okay.
Is that by our,
Well, no.
No.
They're.
as long as
Yeah.
we just have minimum square footage,
Right.
which is, I think, 950 square feet for a single-story, single-family residential.
Now, how about in the town of ourselves? Can you put a double wide in?
No.
Ours
The town
didn't
has
either.
ordinance against it. The town does.
No, because the town of Milan did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
So-
not sure if that complies with Freddie Mae and Mac or HUD or any of these
Yeah,
places.
but they put it on a permanent foundation, they done all that, so it's actually not that manufactured home, I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's a, from the get-go, it's a permanent home.
I don't know if the last time I looked at their ordinance, but I don't think that did it describe or say if it meets these criteria, it's okay, but if it's,
I couldn't say.
have to pull it out again and look at it.
But anyway, we've got a motion out here.
Yeah,
So basically, okay to do for mobile homes that meet all federal and state requirements that can be, that still have a VIN number, certificate of origin certificate, and are in the process of being moved to become,
And they would meet all the square footage
So-
requirements and all that? Okay.
go ahead, I mean,
and that certificate of occupancy and final electric withheld until completion
yeah.
and transferred to real estate.
So when they come in to ask for that permit, do you wanna see that, tag number, that it's still a
They'll
manufactured
have
home?
to get that,
So
to
the-
move it in, they gotta get that through the treasurer, and they have to prove all that to them.
Okay.
Then they bring that to us.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, so they are paperwork that you need to
Yes.
see before you issue
Yes.
that again,
Yes.
okay?
They have-
That's another checklist item.
Right.
you know?
They, legally, I think before they can move it, they have to prove that the manufactured home, like the mobile home personal property tax has been paid on it
Yes, that's correct.
Right.
by the previous owner or by them.
Yeah.
Some-
I sold, when I first moved to Milan 32 years ago, I lived in a trailer in a trailer park, single wide. And I remodeled it and stuff, and 2 years later, I sold it. But I couldn't sell it in Ripley County because it was a 75 year, was the age of it. So it went to Dearborn County. Dearborn County let it.
Yeah.
So, and the guy give me $5,500 for it, and I told him I don't care where he took it. So, you know, I mean, but it could be moved to
Sounds like
Ripley County.
Jimmy's town.
Was it moved with a tractor about 4 AM? on
Yeah,
Saturday
there you
morning
go.
Or Sunday morning?
Didn't see nothing, you know.
I think a lot of mobile homes have been moved that way.
Anyway,
So like,
all right, so we need a second then, right?
I'll second.
All in favor? Okay.
Right.
now this one's even better.
Yeah. You're killing me, Tad. I was counting on a 3-minute meeting tonight.
No, your meeting was 3, the initial part.
The building inspector got a call today from Grant County. I presume that's up in northern Indiana. And they wanted to know what our solar ordinance fees are, fee schedule. So Derek come and asked me, and I said, when you got one? We got a solar ordinance. Commission approved. Then I went back to approve the fee schedule, and they said, well, we'll work on that. Well, they never did. And then reading through it again today, it says the Board of Zoning Appeals shall set permit fees and fee schedule. So, the ball's in your court.
What this second page is some, Jefferson County here, he called them, and they have a $2,000 permit fee plus $5 per acre over 10 acres. That's a one-time shot, right?
Right, that's the way I understand it.
And then, if you go to the next page, this is, where's this at, Franklin County?
Yeah.
Okay. They have commercial building permits, including for solar, not exceeding $6,500. Inspection fee is $30. Zoning fees are $300. Land assessments,
Which that would be the assessor.
what's that?
The assessor would take care of that portion.
Okay, so our thing is, or I mean, we discussed a little bit, me and Tad did a while ago. If we we need a permit fee, I'm right on the back of this.
I mean, now, you don't all have to do this tonight, don't get me wrong.
Okay.
Putting this, you can table it and kick it around, whatever. I give you there what I can find that's kind of local.
All right, well, and did all y'all get the new job description thing?
Yes.
Okay. I guess my question is, French, he made some changes on it, and he don't want the BZA to be involved in anything.
Like,
Okay, right now, the position reports to the planning, zoning, and BZA. So I don't know why he wants to do that. Commissioner, do you have any idea? Okay, I mean, I guess I think we all should be involved,
I do too.
okay? So who makes that final decision? And I'm putting it on record that I think it should stay like it is and not get changed like he wants it to. I mean, you know, I guess basically, where's that at? If you look at the way it is now, it says job title executive director, and I know I'm getting off track here for a minute, but reports to the area planning and BZA. And then if you look down where there are yellow marks, he marked through area planning commission. That's the only one he wants them to report to, okay? And you guys may have heard all this already too. I don't know if you've heard it in a meeting or not. As far as assisting the building inspector, I get that.
There's one in there that says, will assist the administration. Who or what's the administration on that?
Well, the administration's everybody, right? I mean, you're gonna be talking to the BZA, you're gonna be talking to the planning and zoning,
I would think that would.
you're gonna be talking to the commissioners, I'd say from time to time, if they have it, you know,
So is it, it's up there,
advocate.
assist the administration with communicating and advocating benefits.
To the community of planning and zoning. But like I said, I mean, what was the original one? That's, responsibilities.
See, that first original one
Advocates for public interest in new development.
that came from a template from the city of Madison. That's what they got out for their advertisement right now, and they've been looking for 3 months to find somebody.
So he wants to, instead of advocating for public interest, he added in new development and assist the administration with communicating and advocating for the benefits to the community of the planning and zoning. There it goes again. You're gonna advocate to us too. I
Well,
mean,
should.
BZA. So there again, you know. So-
Uneducated folks.
Can I make a copy of that original one and put my highlights
That's
in
why I
there?
asked you all to do, mark her up and send her back.
I mean, what do you guys,
Yeah,
As a board.
because I've already looked at mine and I had some questions too, but my thing is, John, can we, both groups get together to discuss, sit down and discuss that? Are we, I mean,
Not as a quorum or a majority of members, but two of you could certainly come
Okay.
to tech review or sit in on that and try to disclose or discuss what you think.
or as individuals could send their comments to Jeff? Okay,
Absolutely.
okay. I'm
why
just,
would you send them to Jeff though? Wouldn't you send them to?
or to the
send them
president
Tad?
board?
I think you send them to Ted and then.
Yeah, and then he can
Just
talk,
ask them,
yeah.
maybe you say, hey, I think this is important to consider by tech review in this job description.
So the tech review would be next Tuesday coming?
Yeah.
Next Tuesday.
It's a week after the meetings, right?
Yes.
So
And
it's
1
next
o'clock,
Tuesday at
right?
1 o'clock. As long as it's not more than,
Can't be more than 5
From
planning commission. Of
2
course,
from here.
that would be you two. And
Well, it would only leave us three.
that would only leave only 2 from BZA. So with you
I
two
mean, I would
cover
like to
both.
come and,
Right.
and at least, as our board here, represent, say, hey, you know, we think that we, you know, we want to keep it like it is as far as
Right. And
keeping
usually,
BZA involved.
well, just FYI, Dave Osborne, Jeff French, Doug Smith, and Ted and myself usually
Right.
show up at the tech review meetings. So as long as you two could show up, and that'd only be 5, but if a 6th member of the planning commission would show up, somebody'd have to leave.
Stand outside.
of the planning,
And
not of
holler
the
in.
BZA.
Right. But if 3 of you show up for BZA, even though you, well, I'm here for planning commission, I think it'd still be,
Okay.
that'd be dicey when dealing with,
And as far as
As
the
long as you're there,
BZA,
I ain't taking off of work, because I know you're gonna speak up for us and represent us better than we was
and
represented.
I mean, that's what I was just getting ready to ask. If y'all want to vote on somebody, I mean, if you, I don't have to do it, but I mean,
I think it'd be nice if
I
you
would
did.
volunteer to do it, you know.
I'm good with you doing it.
I think you should do.
So then if I get hollered at, then,
that would avoid any
it. Then we can blame
open
you.
access meeting
yeah.
failed to
Yeah, I-
provide notice or
I-
anything.
right.
Get rid of that issue.
And I mean, I think, it ain't that I'm, I just think that we need to I need to represent this board and say, hey, you know, we want to keep it like it is. And why, I would ask him why he wants to change it. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, maybe he don't like us, I don't know. So, nah, he doesn't. I get along with him. So, yeah, that ain't a big deal. All right, let's get back to this. I'm so sorry, the solar thing. So we need a permit fee, and then I agree that, the yearly fee.
That was your idea.
Well, I did.
I think we should have like a yearly fee on it.
Oh, I do
mean,
too, yes.
you know what I'm saying? I mean, if we're gonna let it in, I mean, if it's, and here's the thing, it's gonna happen in our county sooner or later. I mean, and I'm not against it at all, you know.
You'll make money off of it.
You know, I mean, I got 4 acres, people. No, scratch that.
They want 400.
You know, we're recording this all the time, but anyway, so what's that, where was that at, Tad? What's that called?
I forget which county that was.
Well, I think it ought to be annual, because that way if you have problems,
Franklin
the
County. The one
commissioners
that has
down the
annual.
road has more legal
Well,
fees and
the-
stuff.
the very
That
last
would be
one,
something
you
to
got-
help cover.
Here it is.
That's Rush.
It says, application fees apply to solar projects, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Charges of $17.50 base and $50 for each megawatt or larger. SES-3 says 500 base plus 50 for smaller ones. Land assessment. But I mean, I think the county should benefit from these fields somewhat. I mean, I don't think we are to try to get rich and all that, but, I could see, what's it take, and I should know this, I've been an electrician. How big of
Annual fee.
a megawatt?
Well, no, they
What-
have
how many solar panels does it take to make a megawatt?
But you're the
Yeah, I was gonna
electrician.
do that, John, but I'm not smart enough to do it on my phone.
How many years old?
That's been stated before and the time.
You're the electrician.
Solar panels would take to generate.
So, I mean, I know kilowatts better than I do the megawatts, but.
Do-
I think it's 1,000 kilowatts, is it a megawatt?
This is saying to generate 1 megawatt or 1 million watts of electricity. Now, I don't know if this is on a per day basis or an annual, because some of those are based on annual production. It typically takes between 1,550 and 3,333 commercial grade solar panels.
1,550 to 3,000.
Right, depending on the panel efficiency and wattage, which generally range from 300 to 650 watts. A common modern installation using 400 to 500 watt panels often requires approximately 2,000 to 2,500 panels to reach 1 megawatt capacity.
All right, how many panels does an acre do? Can you put on an acre? Sorry,
Depends on how you rack them and stack them.
because here's where I'm getting.
Commercial solar panels can you typically fit on 1 acre of usable
So
land?
just say we know, we'll base it at 3,000 solar panels, and if you could put 9,000 on an acre, that's, if we do $50 a megawatt, that'd be $150 an acre.
On average, you can typically fit 1,000 to 1,500 commercial solar panels on 1 acre of usable land, while a theoretical edge-to-edge layout could fit over 2,000 panels. Practical constraints such as spacing for maintenance, row orientation, and inverters usually reduce this number to a more realistic 1,000 to 1,500 range.
So then, by doing that, I think $50 an acre would be an annual, okay? I mean, that's not, I don't think that's raping anybody or nothing like that. I mean, if you've got 100 acres, that's $5,000.
$5,000, 600 acres would be
But if you're, I mean, you know,
30,000.
and I mean, I know, I don't care what they're making off of it, but I mean, I'm sure they'll be making more than that, so, I mean,
Well, I guess my question is, according to this, is there an ongoing inspection that takes place annually?
well, I would think, don't our ordinance say that they have to keep it maintained at
Yeah.
a certain level? And, so if we've got an ordinance that says you gotta do this, this, and this, then we've gotta be able to, look or watch for that. What I wanna say,
For the enforcement, you'd have to be
enforce
able
the
to
ordinance.
enforce the
Yeah.
ordinance, you'd have.
Well, like they got a minimum of 5 acres here, so you can't go any, you gotta have 5 acres to lease. Now, what about putting it on roofs? These guys putting them on barn roofs and their
No,
houses?
that's more residential.
That-
We're talking as far as the heavy
Oh,
commercial,
commercial, like Duke
like
Energy
the,
or AEP?
like the solar fields,
Yeah, okay.
okay?
Well, the term primary SES is a commercial solar
Okay.
energy system.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Accessory or secondaries.
So where'd you
on a
see the
house
5
or a
acres
rack
at?
system next to
Right.
it for private.
Commercial ground mounted generally requires a minimum of 5 acres.
This
So,
schedule.
a
Second
minimum of
page.
5 acres, so that'd be $250 yearly that they're gonna pay.
Yeah,
the
they
county.
probably should. This is a brainstorming
Yes,
thing.
yeah.
And then I would also do like a inspection fee for once a year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if we do $50 an acre, so a minimum 5 acre field is the smallest that they would do it, would pay $250 a year, right? And then.
You do it 50 or 150?
No, 50, because, well, I was thinking, $50 an acre on a 5 acre field would be $250. So a 100 acre field would be $5,000, okay? So that, to me, that's more realistic. As far as a permit fee, I guess, when we do a building permit, how much is it per square foot?
Commercial's $3.15
$315?
for base price, and then 15 cents a square foot.
15, that's what I want, 15 cents a square foot. So if you're doing a solar field,
But
Would
15
we-
cents a square foot for the improvement, right?
So
would we have a $300 permit fee plus 15 cents an acre? I mean, or would you do?
Well, Jefferson County's got a
2,000.
higher initial rate there at $2,005 per acre, anything over 10.
Is it?
I guess my thing is
they're-
like, who's gonna do this inspection and what are the qualifications of the person doing the inspection?
that's all on the company. to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that they have to provide you with a document that's,
So our building inspector won't go out and inspect nothing?
Nope.
No,
The code calls for a third-party inspector to have to do that. 'cause
Okay,
it's all-
how about the ordinance, the annual inspection that you're wanting to keep, the ordinance that we got to keep, that says you're gonna keep it in this type of shape, or, that's gotta be done by us,
That would have to be done,
yeah.
yeah.
So there again, I think that, what'd I just say, that yearly fee.
Check to see what fees are on them.
Yeah, that's
We've
why.
got 3 pages here, yeah.
You might want to do some other research on this.
I
because
think
you
so.
can't vote on this
No, you can't.
Right.
vote.
conclusively tonight because it hasn't been advertised or even prepared. But it's okay to have a consensus, some brainstorming, figure out where the numbers are or what information you may need. Bear in mind that that part C does say the fee schedule adopted by the Board of Zoning Appeals shall include the reasonable cost of inspection. It doesn't say annual, it does say cost of inspection.
So does our ordinance call out how many times we have to inspect that a year?
I think it was before, no, I don't recall.
It's on the installation of it.
I think, the way I'm reading here,
I mean, to me, it should be $300 an inspection minimum.
you basically adopt a fee schedule for the primary SES applications and permits. Then it went on to say the applicant shall be responsible for paying a third-party inspector who is qualified to inspect solar systems and is approved by the county to inspect all solar structures prior to the issuance of the certificate of occupancy, basically the final, like, you're good to go.
But once it's up and
The
running,
fee schedule adopted by the Board of Zoning Appeals shall include the reasonable cost of inspection. It does not talk about an annual fee.
do we know anybody
We need to
that,
figure
that
out-
does that inspection? That's certified for solar inspection?
I don't know how knowledgeable
Would
Josh,
RNC?
Josh Lorem installs private ones. and He
Right.
may do some.
But you've got, then you've got, oh my God. Our state representative lives up on 421.
Right,
Randy,
right.
Fry.
Fry.
His boy is over solar at RMC. So I don't know, would he be be able to inspect it or not? But that's still more residential. I don't think that, you know.
I think there's be some
mean, I
information, we could reach out that like APA, the American Planning, and they probably have some,
Either
we could
that
get
or
some more
call like
information.
Greensburg and see who they have, their third party, because they've got a big solar field. North Vernon's got a big solar field,
Yeah.
Right there in town.
so,
well, I don't know that Greensburg does yet.
right there on the highway, you go up through there.
I think that's Hoosier Energies, isn't
That's
it?
who.
I don't know whose it is, I just say,
So, I mean,
well, maybe call
It is
Hoosier
Hoosier.
Energy.
but
it is.
because they're a utility company, I'm not even sure if they had to get a permit to put that in, or if they fall under the Utility Regulatory Commission,
That's probably
Well,
what I was
where they
thinking.
could do that without
So is North
zoning,
Vernon,
permitting, et cetera.
but
I
don't
would say
that
that-
produce
I
electric
agree, I
for
think
part
that's
of the
probably
town?
the case.
I'm sorry.
I agree, I think that's probably the regulatory commission, say with who that would go through if it's Hoosier Energy.
Possible, yeah.
I mean, I don't know if the county would have,
Yeah, I don't think that was per se a commercial installation. Yes, it generates power, but I think it was more for display to say, hey, here's an alternative, maybe.
So I guess my question is, you gotta advertise that the BZA is gonna set fees for the solar.
Yes.
It would probably be a fee schedule that would be kind of an appendix, if you would, to this ordinance.
And then we want that advertised in a way that, we don't fill the room up.
Through the newspaper.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't want people thinking that the BZA's getting ready to vote on a big solar field, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
I'm
Down
gonna
where-
apologize to Wanda Burnett right now. I'm not sure how many people read the legals in the local newspaper.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I mean, it is what it is.
You know, we're living in changing times.
There again,
But statute still requires
It-
publication.
hey,
well, I think as
if
long
we
as it's.
fill the room up, do we have to listen to all of them? I mean, once they come in here and say, we're not doing nothing, this is if somebody does come in and wants to get a permit to put one in.
Well, House Bill
We explain-
1333 basically looks like if it passes,
Yeah,
it allows the planning commission, board of zoning appeals, or county municipal legislative body to require a person to provide their name, address in writing in order to speak at a public hearing regarding certain matters, allows the body's presiding officer to give consideration whether a person is a county resident or has an interest as an owner, lessor, lessee, or life tenant in real property within the county in deciding the order of speakers and the amount of time allotted to speakers at a hearing.
So we'd have to listen to them, and I tell you what, every one of them's gonna say, if all you're doing is making up the price, then we wanna charge them $150,000 a
Yeah.
year. So we won't, nobody wants to do it,
But
you
like
know?
anything, a lot of stuff can be challenged in court, and it's gotta be reasonable.
Right.
Yeah.
For
No,
what-
I'm
For
just,
what the level of work is involved. And if we don't if we have something in the ordinance that says, yes, there needs to be an annual inspection, I think there was something about every 5 years, there needed to be a revisit to the cost of demolition and removal, decommissioning, thank you. And that, I thought that's what it said,
Yeah.
something to that effect. And there needed to be an estimate of that, and then the bond accorded, adjusted accordingly.
Discontinuation, all SESs shall be considered discontinued after 6 months without energy production.
On hailstorm.
See, what, some of these energy, they'll come in and build them panels, and these companies will go broke, and they just abandon them. Well, whoever they lease that property from, they're responsible then. Then you run into the federal, all this bullshit.
That's why
Well,
the
but that's
bond
why
is-
we set the ordinance saying that if it does go belly up and they gotta decommission it, that company that put them out there is liable for tearing it all back down and
Right, should be.
restoring the property.
They would probably post that bond before they got started, but
Right.
Gail, if they have a project pretty much done and they go belly up, the likelihood is some other company or
Will
asset
pick it
management,
up.
they'll buy it for pennies on the dollar in the bankruptcy.
Well,
Oh,
yeah.
But
Hostess.
at the same
Well,
time,
that's
look
true.
at the windmills up there going to Chicago.
Yeah.
I mean, that was, the government paid all kinds of money,
Well, I'll tell you another one.
and they're setting up.
These
their
last
return.
10 years, I've worked in all these big substations around here. And they got a windmill farm planned for down across the proving ground, up through Brown, AEP does. And it's on, it's already been planned out.
When you say Brown Township?
No, through the proving ground, Browning's out here across Cave Hill, all the way up through Ohio.
Really? What, a transmission line or a wind farm?
Wind farms, because there's a jet stream that runs up this, that's why we get all these rains every summer, and they know there's a
All
jet
the
stream
snow.
up through here. And it,
Well, it's gotta come, they gotta get a permit to do it.
Right, they gotta
right,
do here.
right.
Or do they?
Yeah.
Big power company,
Well,
do
yeah.
they, would they?
Well, our code says they do, but if they're under the regulatory commission,
And if there- that would,
I don't know.
Now, see, they don't,
AEP's probably a large enough,
they're big enough.
Yeah.
Indiana power provider that they may be under the URC.
say that.
See, they was gonna follow 101, but now they shut down, stop link, whatever it was, 101, stop that.
Yeah.
So now they gotta reroute it, Mud Pike and all.
Well, the
Yeah,
house,
this is totally off the subject. Is our existing high-tension lines and grid and substation even sufficient to carry the demands of power in this country?
no, they're all out of date.
They're,
Company's been kicking the can down the road,
For
not
years.
not
For
updating
years.
them or anything?
they still.
They're working on the major ones, the steel, you know, you gotta figure out how many years.
You know, the ones coming across 275 right over here when you cross the bridge? They just redone all them.
Yeah,
lines.
that's all been
Bigger
reconducted.
wire?
Yeah.
Yeah, bigger.
That'll
More
carry
insulators.
Did
But see, there's no load going across them. It's all primary. Okay, and them transmission lines are what, probably 37,000 volts?
Yeah,
Because our regular, your lines running through town here are 76 or 7,700 volts
yeah.
Well,
primary.
like the one
But
that
there's
comes
no
up-
load.
The one Duke Energy owns now that cuts across like some of,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
Now
yeah,
and those used to be Indiana, Michigan,
yeah,
but Duke got them.
right. Now, what comes out of Madison, the big substation on the hill from the power plant, is 765,000.
Where's it go to?
It goes to Rockport, Indiana, from Rockport to Sullivan, Indiana, from there up to, well, and it comes over and goes up to Greentown, and from Greentown, I forget where it goes into South Bend.
So how many substations do they have along all those miles to keep boosting and keep it,
Oh, God,
A
it's
bunch.
a bunch.
or up to the?
Each one of them,
Well, look
like
at
Sullivan's got a
Batesville
big
over-
substation,
Yeah.
Greentown's got a big sub. And it keeps that voltage stepped up as it goes in,
As it
where
starts
it's
to
generated.
degrade, pumps.
Right.
Yeah, for-
Some of it runs out, runs clear to West Virginia, across Kentucky.
Well, AP, that's Appalachian Power.
Yeah.
That's all.
But their
West
main
Virginia
office is in
Maine.
Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
So they cover Anderson, Muncie, all northern part of Ohio, where then we got We got Duke, and then up north, you got different ones that come off the lakes.
And they're getting ready to build a new coal-fired in West Virginia too.
Really?
Yes.
How'd they manage to pull that off?
Don't know, but
They're West
it's a
Virginia.
big news back there. Well, that's been their crop for millions of years, you know,
Yeah.
since they've been in existence.
Well, AEP out in Montana or Wyoming owns their own coal mine and their own rail system that runs to Metropolis, Illinois, where they put it on barges and it comes up the river to all these other coal plants that they own up the river.
Well, we could be subject to, hell, Governor Braun, I think, was promoting nuclear energy, and there's supposedly one slated location for an SMR, a small
Yep.
modular reactor. And apparently they're capable of maximum capacity of 300 megawatts of electric, which is about a third of the capacity of nuclear reactors. And they can produce 7.2 million kilowatts per day.
Wow.
I wonder though if
Is
one
that
of
a
those
nuclear?
would. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
that's a
But-
small,
My question is, you know, Chernobyl's a wasteland around it. 3 Mile Island could have been that way, but
I
that
don't
was
think you wanna
averted.
see that in Indiana.
And you had Fukushima that was
Yeah.
destroyed or damaged by a tsunami?
Tsunami.
Tsunami. All about 10 years apart, 15 years apart, give or take, I'm guessing.
so.
What is the range that if that nuclear reactor did leak?
Big
what-
range.
What's the radius
I don't know.
of negatively
You'd have-
affected area?
You'd have to Google that.
I mean, a lot of people don't like wind or solar, but
At least it's
30 years
safer.
down the road, you can take them out
Right.
and remove them.
Right.
Chisel out the concrete. You're not dealing with radioactive isotopes or whatever.
But if they're done right, I think like in France, France has got them all over the place. I mean, they provide all their, and they've never had a, you know, they do the smaller, compact, you know.
Is it easier to cool and basically shut it down and stop the reaction, you know? Because don't the rods just react to one
The
another?
rods, yeah, they pull the rods, and then they have to have the thing. I worked at Fernald 22 years, so we made the rods, so.
So did you wear the little badge that would
Yeah, I glow in the,
melt or turn colors if you got too hot?
Yeah.
Down there in Peoples, Ohio, they're still cleaning that one up.
Yeah.
So if I walked up to you with a Geiger counter?
oh,
you'd
yeah,
go,
I'm sure I probably would.
That was another Furnock place, I mean.
Yeah.
But anyhow.
But I mean, I think if it was done safely, and I mean, but that's the problem anymore, so much regulation and so much, you know, there's
Maybe
no
if it could
common
work.
sense. And if
Maybe-
they can
maybe
make it work.
that's- Maybe that's the more ideal thing to have, I don't know, but I'd really like to
Oh.
know what's the effective
What would be the
nasty
fee on that?
range.
All right, well, let's
All right.
think about this fee thing, and then when it gets advertised and we come back, then you guys can
Well,
see what you
do you
want.
think any other counties have any annual fees?
I've not found any.
Okay. If there needed to be one, I wonder if it would just be,
Well, let's be groundbreaking would be the first one.
right? But as far as an annual fee, I guess the question would, what would be reasonable in light of the inspections that were necessary on it, if any?
Well, and here's the thing, can you picture, if one of these gets put in, that you're gonna have people calling in, saying, hey, this is not, this don't look right, blah, blah, blah. And then we'd have to send our guy out just to look at a couple of things, you know. I think for a while, now maybe 10 years, 20 years down the road, if it pans out that the county deems that they don't need that money, which that's probably never happened, but anyway, I mean, I think it's fair to ask for an annual fee, I really do, on something like that, because we're all new with it, I mean, but I mean, what it is, you know, I guess that's gonna be up to us, and we're gonna
Commissioners to
figure
adopt.
that out.
Well, I mean, if they have any cost, I mean, you need to cover your costs for anything new.
And, I mean,
Yeah, to
and
help
then,
them.
like I said, if the commissioners got some ideas too, I mean, let them speak up too, I mean, I don't, you know.
I thought this was interesting in this one statement that the land assessment
Was
for
$7,100?
2025, see, I think 2 years ago it was around $5,500, $5,600. So the assessment on land, see, because typically agricultural land is based on your your productivity,
Yeah.
land classification, and I think sometimes that can vary somewhere between what, maybe $1,400 and $2,400 per acre, with it kind of settling in on, what, an average of about 2,000 per acre assessment on farmland, ag ground, utilized for that purpose. I mean, if one did go in, what you have to bear in mind is the assessed value more than triples. So your property tax triples, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're paying $100 an acre on
So
farmland.
the county is deriving a benefit too from it if that happens. I guess the question would be, we probably need to figure out what inspections would be likely necessary. How much time is involved, how much paperwork.
Well, seeing some of these,
Realistic.
they're raising these panels and they're still using them for pasture. It
Yeah,
was-
agrivoltaic.
Yeah, you know,
And
they're
apparently
still
sheep-
grazing cattle, sheep,
That's
what.
called
I don't know so
dipping.
much about cattle, because cattle rub and hogs root, but sheep,
Goats, they use goats a lot, I see.
They're-
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd almost think
Well,
the
that
goats
mows
would
the
be
grass.
trying to.
They-
Well, that's
jump
what I
up
was
on 'em.
surprised too, but they said they had, that
I
they,
guess they got them high enough. But anyway, sheep,
talking
yeah, because
putting them
apparently
on
sheep
hills.
don't root, they don't rub. They're pretty gentle apparently on the
Yeah.
equipment.
well, I think there's one in Georgia, a big one, I can't remember exactly.
I thought there was
I've
one
been
in
by it,
Kentucky too, maybe.
and it's, I'd say 500 acres of panels, and there's cattle out there. But the panel, I mean, they're on big posts, anchored in the ground. Of course, you got conduit buried everywhere as all those do. But I've been by it a couple different times, and there's cattle out there grazing underneath these solar panels.
Well, if they put in big enough concrete posts to hold the
Yeah,
racks.
they're steel, I-beams,
Yeah. Then probably a cattle rubbing on it, probably
Yeah.
can't move it or hurt
Well,
it.
this Rush County, Indiana says regulate solar energy systems through zoning ordinances that require improvement location permits. The fees generally structured around base rates plus per megawatt. So there's specific to 3 projects, a $1,750 base, improvement location fee for the permit, fee plus $50 per megawatt applies. While other SCS systems may have a 500 base fee. So that right there is just for the permitting. That ain't annual, I guess.
Right, no, that's not it.
So, does anybody talk about an annual?
No.
So, maybe we were barking up the wrong tree there, but at the same time, I think we gotta have our permit fee to cover inspections. That, and, any other kind of cost that we, that the county would occur for letting this go in, so.
Yeah, I guess we
All right,
could
well,
always consider something
about ready
with, that 5-year,
I think we need to
whatever
think
you
about
have to
it.
do the annual inspection on the
When the meeting comes
decommissioning.
back to vote on it, we'll vote.
Maybe inspect if there are any issues, problems, and
Think about what you think you.
submit that report to.
Yeah.
Put the cost burden for them.
On
giving
each
the
one of these
report.
guys are different,
Yeah, I know. So,
I make a motion to adopt Charlie's findings and facts as the board's findings and facts as written.
second,
I'll second it.
all in favor? Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
I got one question. On my variance, is it recorded